Okay, welcome to the Quantum Information Technology Convention.
The sun's going down as I try to make my way through the crowd, feeling alive. I love being by your side. Wish we could shine. We got one summer, so let's make it count. You make me feel like everything's alright. Let's dance our problems away in the night. Love being right next to you. You and me on my body. I'll be dreaming about this till the end of time. We are young, we are free, down for the ride. Might be over tomorrow, but we got this love forever.
Okay, welcome to the Quantum Information Technology Convention.
The sun's going down as I try to make my way through the crowd. Feeling alive. I love being by your side.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am Paulo Paredes, your host, and welcome to the second episode of Tech Talk. And today's topic is online literacy on social media data. So, for a few reminders, in this online seminar, we have a few rules and regulations to follow, and these are the following. So, first, when joining the session, please have your mic muted. You may only unmute if the facilitator or speaker will ask you to. Second is turning on the video is optional. And third is please write your comments or questions to the speakers at any time in the public chat space. The speaker will try to answer all the questions at the end of his lecture. You may also interact with other participants through the chat box, but please make sure to avoid the use of foul language. So in addition, for the information of everyone, this session is recorded and will be posted later on or in the CSSC page. Okay, so that was all for the rules and regulations. I hope that everyone has taken note. So before we formally start the program, let us first put ourselves in the holy presence of God. So for the Catholics, please make the sign of the cross.
Sikoy ko kami gimu tolangin. Sikoy ko kami gimu taado ay bulan. Ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kabituunan. Ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kalibutan. Manama, mawantog ka. Warag po ko ilingkoy ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شامل المسلمين والكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the lights of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Manama, mawantog ka. Warpo ko iling ko'y ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko. Busa ikaw lang ang alagaran ko.
Okay, amen. So at this point, before we move on to the opening remarks, I want to know first the view of our participants regarding today's event. May I ask some of the participants what they are expecting in this event? Some insight. So I'll be calling participants, or if you want, you could just speak up. Let me see. So I think wala man siguro. So I think I will be calling out participants. So I think I'll be calling Miss Kathy, Miss Comstad, 2020.
Yes, Kuya Pao.
Question: what are your insights or expectations moving on in this event?
To learn something new and to apply it on my daily life.
Okay.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Katie. Okay, next na po. So muna ito guys ang Miss Comstad 2020. Okay. Next is Sir John Hakim. Hello? John Hakim? Murag wala man ata. Okay, so next na lang si Natasha K. Flores. Miss Natasha, are you there? Miss Flores, you have wala yung mic? Wala siya yung mic. Okay, next na lang ta. Sir Michael Angelo, are you there? Hello, Sir Michael Angelo. Kakaulaw ng mga participants. Here. Okay na yung answer. Wala siya yung mic. To learn about on how to secure our social media data. Okay. Thank you, Jana Kim. for that answer. Okay, last. Mm, si Miss Katrina Kate Dayan Punay. Katrina Kate. Wala yung mga mic ang mga participants manata. Sige, chat na lang ang mga answers. You can chat. Wala naman siguro. Okay, move on na lang ta guys. Kay murag ulawon pa ang mga participants. So, moving on. At this juncture, let us give an outstanding virtual applause to one of the project heads of this event to give us our opening remarks. Let us welcome Miss Alicia May Kabugsa.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Alicia Meka Bugsa from BSIT first year in Xavier University. Thank you for your presence for today's event. Welcoming you for this second episode of webinar Tech Talk entitled Online Literacy, Social Securing Social Media Data. As we all know, technology has been advancing day by day. We are now living in an online setting where we can utilize the thing we call social media. However, social media itself led to numerous problems regarding privacy in this digital era. A secure data is what each and every one of us wants, diba? Thus, we must follow and act accordingly on how we approach such matters, since social media sites records data and can be easily protected, right? So this tech talk will solely focus on securing in this digital era. Thank you, participants, and welcome. And let's listen and learn for today's episode of webinar. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Kabugsa, for the opening remarks. So before we move on, I would like to read out one of the answers from my question earlier, which is the expectations and insights towards this event. So we have one answer by Marvin, which is he expects to learn data privacy and etiquettes about sharing information on social media. So thank you, Marvin, for that answer. Okay, so moving on. So without further ado, we will have our guest speaker. So introducing our guest speaker, first, he is the Project Development Officer of the Department of Information and Communications Technology, Visayas Cluster 2. He is a former technical support engineer in SPI Technologies Incorporated, IT Operations. He is also a part-time college IT instructor at St. Paul University in Dumaguete City, and a graduate with a master's degree in Information Systems in the University of the Philippine Open University. Lastly, a Philippine representative of the ASEAN India Students Exchange Program, India, and is also a YouTuber on tech tutorials. So without further ado, let us all welcome to the virtual stage Mr. Joshua Eliezer Domen. A big round of applause, please.
Hi, thank you, Pau. I hope you can hear me and see me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Pau, for that introduction. So, allow me to share my screen. All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir, we can see your screen, sir.
All right. So once again, good afternoon, everyone. I think all of you are coming from CDO or in Mindanao, no? Mga Chadad ay. So right now I am in Cebu City. This is where I reside right now, and it's quite gloomy and rainy here. So let's cross our fingers that nothing bad will happen. A sudden power interruption or bad internet connection, or else our webinar will be cut. So let's cross our fingers. But now let me go straight to my presentation. I believe, I am really pretty sure that all of you, our participants, have your own social media accounts. And there's actually no need for me to define what social media is, for the reason that I know pretty well that you really know what social media platforms are. But just to give you a fine or a simple definition of social media, these are websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. So for as long as you are able to share content like pictures and videos, memes or articles and everything else, and that you're able to to interact with other users, that could already be considered as a social media platform. And there are debates saying if YouTube is a social media. The answer is yes, although those are a concrete video sharing platform, no. But since you can still be able to share content and you can still be able to interact with others through live chats and comments, YouTube is also a social media platform. Now, before I really begin my presentation, I just want to have a quick poll to our participants. Please, if you could multitask, please go to menti.com. And from there, you will be asked for a code. Please type in the code that you see in the screen. That's 1446725. And then you have to answer a question. This is a poll. And the question is, how many hours in a day do you spend your time in social media? So do not worry. Your names will not be gathered. That is purely anonymous when you answer in menti.com. I just want to check if how many hours do you spend your time in social media. So please do not include the time that you use for school, no. Perhaps since we are now in an online kind of education, then you might be using social media for classes. Please do not include that. Or maybe we have here participants who are already working, then you're also using the social media as part of your work. Do not include that, or do not count that as part of your number of hours. Okay? Because, all right, so we are seeing it live now on how many hours are our participants been using their social media accounts in a day. So we have here, going in first is, we have 5 people who are saying that they are using their social media accounts for more than 6 hours in a day. All right. How about the others? Do not worry. This is a purely anonymous poll. We will not know your names. So we have 3 people answering 2 to 4 hours. So imagine, no, we in a 24-hour day, you spend 2 to 6 hours in a day for social media. How about the others? How many participants do we have ba? So far there are 9 answers for our poll. So 6 answers saying for more than 6 hours they are using social media accounts, perhaps their Facebook, their Instagram, YouTube. All right. Okay, please let me know of your answers of how many hours. So let's cut this in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So as we see in our poll, there are the highest number of hours is more than 6 hours for our participants, while placing in second is 2 to 4 hours, while placing third is 4 to 6 hours. So there were no answers for 1 to 2 hours and less. So basically, around the average is 4 hours for our participants spending their time. So thank you very much for participating. I appreciate you for answering, especially to our 11 people who answered our poll. So going back to my slide. Okay. So let's just before I really go to the meat of my presentation, allow me to give some very important data of the usage of technology throughout the world. And later on, we'll be specifically presenting the figures for the Philippines. So this data has been gathered January 2020. So perhaps the data gathered here was in 2019. So this is pre-COVID pa, no? So the total population of the entire world is 7.75 billion, and the urbanized population accounts for 55%, while 5.19 billion are unique mobile phone users, meaning to say you have mobile phones in your pockets, all right? And so we also have internet users, wherein 4.5 billion of the 7 billion people, no, of the population we have in the world are actually connected to the internet, while 3.80 billion of these internet users are active social media users, meaning to say they are, of course, using social media actively while they are connected to the internet. So if you could imagine, there is a penetration rate of 49%, no, of people who are connected to the internet that uses social media. And there is, of course, growth compared to the 2019 data, no? And the 2020 data. There is a growth of 1% in terms of population, while in mobile phone usage, there is plus 2.4% increase. And for the active social media users, there is an increase of 9.2% of people who are using or who are active in using social media. And this still does not account now because this was generated prior to the pandemic. So um, it is safe to assume that since people have been locked down and they're not allowed to go out, they relied more to technology, and so there's still no figures yet that have been generated for the past year, but it is safe to assume that we have a lot of increase, most especially that there is a new kind of education wherein there are online classes and everything else where technology has been used, right? For the internet penetration by region, so as you can see, we belong to the Southeastern Asia, sa ASEAN, no? So there is 66% penetration of internet in our area as compared to, let's say, the first world areas like Western Europe. They have 92%, while Northern Europe has 95%, and Northern America has 88%. All right. And in terms of social media use, we're also part of the average, no, of regions that are using or who are active in social media. We have around 63% of ASEANs, no, of members of the Southeast Asian countries who are active social media users. There is also a data that reports what are the top messaging apps, no, that the world uses, and leading leading this application is WhatsApp. If you can see in our areas highlighted in green, they are using WhatsApp, or most of the users use WhatsApp. And this placing second is Facebook Messenger. And I believe this data is correct for the Philippines, no? That the number one messenger app that we use is Facebook Messenger. All right. Now let us go and let us concentrate on the figures and the statistics for the Philippines. In the Philippines, there is 108 million people or Filipinos, all right, and 173 million um, owners of mobile phone connections. So if you could notice it, there is some kind of it's kind of off, no, because um, mobile phone connections are higher than the entire population. This is for the reason that Filipinos usually have two cell phones, or they have two SIM card slots, no, for their cell phones or for their mobile phones. So they make use of such, and that is the reason why mobile phone connections are higher as compared to the total population. Maybe most of you or some of you, our participants here, have their two brands of cell phones or three brands of cell phones. One is for backup, one is for taking pictures or for entertainment. All right. Then the internet users in the Philippines, we have 73 million. So the penetration rate is 67% of the of Filipinos are connected to the internet. And that is also the same, and that is also tantamount to the active social media users that we have as Filipinos, no? Once it is safe to say with these figures that when you are connected to the internet, you are also an active social media user. Am I right that once you log into a computer, no, maybe perhaps the first web site that you go into is perhaps Facebook to check on your status, or once you grab your cell phone or your mobile phones, the first application or the first site that you go into is perhaps YouTube. And so it is safe to assume that the internet users population is tantamount and very synonymous to the active social media users. All right. Instead na our students who must be logging in to a computer to create or to make his assignment or project, ang mas mauna pa na sudlan, no, ng website is Facebook or YouTube, di ba? All right. Now, in terms of digital growth indicators, there is an increase of 28% in terms of mobile phone connections, and an increase also of 8% in terms of being active social media users. And remember that this data or this figure is taken pre-COVID, no, prior to the COVID pandemic. So you could expect that if a new figure for this has been generated, expect that there is also increase in terms of the active social media use and for the mobile phone connections use. Most especially for the reasons that we have been reliant, no, to technology as we adjust and adapt to this new normal. All right. And for the population, this is just an overview of the 108 million Filipinos there are in the country. 50% are females and 50% are males. So has everyone found his or her partner? Because there is an equality in terms of the number of males and the number of females. Nakahanap na ba ang lahat? All right. So the annual change is in population is 1.4%. So figures say that there is an increase of 1.5 million people in the Philippines every year. And the median age is 25 years old. So we have a young population, and this is actually a positive indicator for labor workforce, no? That is also the reason why clients and other outsourcing companies go to the Philippines, because they have seen how the median age of population is very vital, because this is the actually the right age to work and to be part of the labor workforce. While other countries actually have older and they could not actually adapt, na, especially that technology has been driving our work, and those who belong to the older age could not adapt, and so having this median age is really important, and this would actually help us grow. All right. Um, this is the population by age group. 74% of Filipinos are 13 years old and above, and 64% is 18 years old and above, and 62% is aged 16 to 64 prior to the um, senior citizen, no, na age around 65. Okay, so in terms of age bracket, we have a good labor workforce to fill in our economy. In terms of device ownership, for internet users, no, aged 16 to 64, 94% of us have mobile phones of any type. No, this could be the um, analog, and this could be digital. For both, we have these kinds of cell phones. Well, for smartphones, 93% are actually owners of smartphones. Okay, so 14% are using analog, non-smartphone mobile phones, ito mga keypad pa, no, na phones, while 67% own laptops or desktop computers, and 40% owns tablet devices. All right. In terms of the daily time spent with media, no, I have asked you earlier through an anonymous poll in Mentimeter how many hours you spend in a day in social media, and here is the surprise. Um, those who are using the internet, um, the Filipinos are using the internet for around 10 hours in a day. This may be for work or for leisure, but we connect to the internet 10 hours per day for our average. While those of you using social media, you spend 4 hours in a day, no? Out of the 24 hours that God has given us in one day, you spend 4 hours in social media. And with the earlier poll a while ago, no, it also speaks of this truth because most of you on average in the poll answered around 4 hours. There were those of you who answered 4 to 6 hours. And this is true, no? That Filipinos use social media, they connect to the social media for 4 hours in a day, right? While other countries use social media for around 1 or 2 hours, Filipinos per se use social media for 4 hours. And in watching television, no, you also use or you also watch televisions for around 4 hours in a day. So at some point, of course, you use both your mobile phones and televisions all at the same time. So while watching TV, you're also perhaps using your mobile phones, okay, while watching your television. So there are also 2 hours spent for listening to music streaming services, and 1 hours and 30 minutes for using games console. So this is our overview of internet use in the Philippines. 67% of the 73 or of the 108 million people in the Philippines are internet users, while the average daily time spent using the internet on any device by an internet user is more or less 10 hours. No, this includes perhaps for work and for education and everything else. Okay. So for mobile internet use, the total number of mobile internet users is 70.45 million. And mobile internet users as a percentage of total internet users is at 97%. So we have quite high figures for our mobile internet use. Of course, because it comes handy, no? If we connect to the internet through our mobile phones and we go to certain locations as compared to using in our desktops or laptops, no, that are fixed and are wired. So mobile internet is comes handy. Okay. So the average daily time spent using the internet on mobile devices is 5 hours and 11 minutes. Wow, 4 out of 24 hours, no? We spend more than 5 hours to be connected to the internet. In terms of internet connection speeds, our average speed of mobile internet connections is 16 Mbps. I believe there is a change, no, because these figures were taken prior to COVID, prior to last year. So there is actually an increase for these figures and for this number. Share of web traffic by device, more than 50% uses connects to web pages through mobile phones, while laptops and desktops are 44%, no? While tablet computers account for 2% and other devices, that's like less than 1%. What are the most visited websites? No, when you go to your web browsers, what are the websites that you go to? For the Philippines, the first is google.com for search, followed by Facebook, YouTube, and everything else. And most of the websites listed here are actually these are social media applications. So as you see, we have very active social media users for the Philippines. For those using Alexa, like hello Alexa, the website that is um, that has the most traffic by Alexa is Google, followed by YouTube, and everything else that is on the list. Top Google search queries. So once you go to Google as the search engine, what do you type in? Mostly Filipinos search for YouTube, then Facebook, then Google, then everything else that is listed. Perhaps most of you have already you have searched for this queries already um, through your search engine through Google. Then what are the active online content activities that Filipinos do, no? From age 16 to 64. So 98% use the internet to watch online videos, while 80% watch vlogs. And there are 84% of you who listen to music streaming services, perhaps Spotify, to listen to music, listen to online radio stations, and also listening to podcasts. More or less, they are quite similar. All right. Online privacy and well-being for Filipinos, 28% have tracked screen time or set time limits for some apps in the past month. So there are wiser 28% people, 28% percent of Filipinos who limit their their app usage. Okay. There are those who express concern about how companies use their personal data, and that's 67% aware Filipinos, and they are very vocal in expressing their concerns. While there are those who used some form of ad blocking tool in the past month through any device, that is 63%, and there is 75% wiser Filipinos who deleted cookies from a web browser in the past month. All right. In terms of playing games, perhaps there are we have students here, no? Of course, for pastime, playing games through their devices. And congratulations to Bren Esports, who won lately sa Mobile Legends na tournament, no? So for any device, that's 94%, while for smartphones, 87% are using smartphones to play games, while 49% use laptop or desktop, while game consoles are, we have 22% figure, and tablet computers, 29%. For gaming-related activities, 7.0% of Filipinos can afford purchasing a game add-on. Sa mga nag-Candy Crush, no? To beat the level, I will purchase an add-on or additional moves. So 7.0%. Fall victim, no, just kidding. 7.0% spend for game add-ons, and all those other data are presented there. In terms of adoption of digital innovations, 42% now use voice search for voice commands. 69% watch TV content via streaming subscription. So, mga Netflix, iFlix, and all Flixes, we have 69% of Filipinos making use of such, while 4.2% have their own smart home devices, Alexa, and 17% own some form of cryptocurrency. So mga bitcoins ninyo diha, nabay mga investors diha. So there is 17% of Filipino internet users who participate in such. Now, going to the social media overview, there is 73 million active Filipino social media users. And compared to the total population, that means 67% of the entire 108 million Filipino peoples who are alive and kicking are active social media users. And there is a change in social media users compared to the previous year when this data was generated. There was an increase of 8.6%. And it is safe to assume that for last year, there is another increase because of the fact that COVID-19 pandemic happened, and so we are more connected than ever. And then there is 98% of percentage of active social media users accessing via mobile. All right. So in terms of social media advertising, mostly 18 to 24 years old get enticed of social media advertisements through Facebook, Instagram, Messenger. Mostly 18 to 34 years old, both male and female, are more enticed to advertising done through social media. The ones that you see, na mga ads sa social media, all right, mostly 18 to 34 years old have been able to see this stuff. In terms of social media behaviors, earlier, this has already been revealed that more or less 4 hours is spent by an average social media user in the Philippines to participate in social media platforms or in accounts. Okay. And 100% visited or used a social network or messaging service in the past month. Okay. And 93% actively engaged with or contributed to social media in the past month. So these figures are really high when you compare it to the global average. These figures are really high, I tell you. What are the most used social media platforms in the Philippines? First, of course, is Facebook, without a question, because that is also true in some other countries. Most countries use Facebook. Well, except for China, because they have their own social media platform. But most of the countries use Facebook, then followed by YouTube, which I earlier mentioned that it is a social media application, whether you like it or not. Facebook Messenger and everything else. Okay? Mga chat applications. In terms of using Facebook, 70 million people say that they are connected or they are reached by advertisements by Facebook, And Facebook reported advertising reach is 87%. Okay. Facebook access by device, 97% or almost 98% use of mobile phones is intended for Facebook. For laptops or desktop computers, 2%. And there is 25.2% percentage of Facebook users who access via both phones and computers. But as you can see, mobile phones play a huge role in accessing Facebook. Then we have this Facebook activity frequency. Okay. Then we also have Facebook page reach benchmarks that you see on the screen. And also the Facebook engagement benchmarks. Instagram audience overview, there are 11 million Filipino people who are um, connected or who are reached by advertisements of Instagram. Okay, for Twitter, we have 6.63 million. For Snapchat, we have 7.35 million. And for LinkedIn, for our professionals, we have 8.30 million. What are the top YouTube searches in the Philippines? Movies, songs, Kadenang Ginto, Gold Squad, music, PBB. So for 2019, no, for 2019, this is the list of the most search queries in YouTube. All right. Mobile connections by type, we have 173 million using mobile connections. That's 159% of our population. No? As earlier mentioned, there are Filipinos who use 2 devices or 2 SIM cards. That is the reason why the connection is higher than the population. Filipinos use mobile apps for chat. Then we have for social networking. So we have the social networking apps as the most used apps for Filipinos for our mobile phone owners. So 84% use Android devices while 15% use iOS from Apple, no? Mga iPhones, and the rest follows. Mobile actions, so watch content is 40%, use or scan QR codes 42%, mas ni taas na siguro ni, especially for contact tracing no for this year. Okay. Then we also have e-commerce activities no for Filipinos and online purchasing, ang inyong mga Shopee and Lazada and everything else. And of course, Food Panda. Diba? Our sponsor for today, Food Panda, has been utilized more than ever for e-commerce. So, okay. I think there's no need for me to share these slides. But for those who are asking, these are generated by Hootsuite and we are social, no? You can check their websites. If you want to go on the specifics of the data that I have presented, okay? Credits go to them. With that being said, of the 108 million Filipinos, there are 73 million Filipino internet users, and the highest age group is 16 years old and above. And I believe that our participants are perhaps 16 years and older, no, for our webinar this afternoon. And as you can see, 76.2 million is the number of social network users in the Philippines. And Facebook's market share of the social media market in the Philippines is 92.7%. And the number of Facebook users in the Philippines is 72.5 million. And there is a growing trend that by 2025 daw, there will be 90 million Filipinos no, who are using Facebook and the social media and other social media platforms. So from 67 million in 2017, where the data was generated, there is a forecast that by 2025, there will already be 90 million users. So Filipinos spend an average of 4 hours a day for social media, and that is also equal to, and that is very tantamount to saying that the Philippines is the social media capital of the world. That is very true, no? And we have what we call as the Filipino bait in YouTube, no? That other countries, other foreigners do vlogs or reaction videos or everything else about the Philippines to gain subscribers. And of course, we Filipinos, being Filipinos as we are, we get that, we get lured, we get enticed that, oh, there is a foreigner that reacted about the Philippines. And so I will watch this video and they say that in order for you to get monetized, you should feature something Filipino in your videos, in your contents, because Filipinos are very emotional in terms of their Filipino pride, all right? So we are the social media capital of the world. Over 2/3 of Filipino digital consumers visit social networking sites, compared to 40% who use email, no? So Filipinos visit more social media sites than logging into email. So if you go to, if you open your browser, what will you type in first? That's facebook.com and everything else, followed by another tab, gmail.com. All right. The Philippines ranked second, the highest for the number of people who had ever liked or followed a brand, company, or celebrity on social networking site. After China, no, of course, China, that's already given. They have billions of people. And so we rank second in terms of this. No, we follow a brand or a company in social networking sites. And 61% of Filipino internet users said they trusted consumer opinions posted online, higher than any other market in Southeast Asia, and 7 points above the regional average. No, so they trust. They get convinced. Filipinos get convinced to buy something, to buy a product or a service when they are present online, when they are present in social media, when it is in social media, we would say that that is safe to buy. And so there is 61% of us who get convinced. And then online product reviews and discussion forums were one of the most trusted sources of recommendations in purchase decision making, second only to recommendations from family and friends. So if something is offered, number one, by an online source, and number two, by your friends or families, you would rather be convinced or be enticed by the first option, which is this has been recommended by product reviews, rather than personal opinions from your family and friends. So can you imagine that? And close to 2/3 of digital Filipinos use social media as a resource in purchase decision making. And so that is also the reason why social media marketing is growing. And here, also, by the way, I work in the ICT, no, and we have a program. We have a training program for social media marketing and e-commerce, no. So even if you do not come from the IT field, for as long as you know how to use computers, we have trainings. We call it digital jobs PH trainings, where we conduct such trainings if you want to if you want to venture into social media marketing, wherein you do business online in Facebook and other social media applications, because the market here is really growing. No, there is a saying now that if a business does not venture out into online, or if they don't have an online presence, there might be chances might be that they would get out of the market because they have not transitioned into social media marketing, right? Now, with all that being said, with the Filipinos having an average of 4 hours a day consuming social media applications or platforms, we of course have these social media threats that lurk behind. All right. We have online threats, stalking, and cyberbullying, which is part and parcel as we go into the social media space, no? There have been threats. There is, of course, stalking. There are cyberbullying, some kind of online labels, no? There are chat groups, backstabbing some other person, some classmate. So that is present in social media. Then there is, of course, hacking and fraud, wherein some other person was able to hack into your account and posted something, or perhaps chatted your friends or your families asking for donations, asking for a sum of money to help him or her out of bail. That is hacking and fraud. That is, of course, present in social media. And also, we have buying illegal goods. No? If illegal goods cannot be bought physically, mga illegal substances, or perhaps weapons that are not allowed and that are illegal. When you go online, when you go to social media, there is a wide array for you to choose from, and you can easily buy such things. Okay. We also have vacation robberies, when families post in social media that We are going out for travel or for vacation. So see you. Be back soon. Be back on Monday. Perpetrators try to this is actually a music to the ears of our perpetrators now. All right, go ahead and happy vacation. We'll be the ones to enjoy your homes. So those are vacation robberies. Then we have, of course, very true posters and fake profiles, imitating some other celebrities or some other people who are known, or perhaps even not, even common people, no? Asking for money to others. Those are fake profiles that are very, there are so many today. Then we also have fake relationships, no? Um, do I need to define this? But there are fake relationships, mga LDRs, no? Okay, that is a threat in social media. So with these threats given, we have preventive measures, of course. Okay, what are the things that we have to do as precautionary measures for us, no, not to be victims of such, to get away of this? So there are ways for us to secure our social media data, right? First is, of course, you have to use a strong password, no? You have to make sure that you use a unique and strong password, no? Perhaps you must include numbers, words, upper and lowercase letters, and special characters para your some perpetrators, cyber perpetrators, could not use or could not think of this to log into your account. So I have heard that there is one good advice now to on how you nominate your passwords, no? Um, you have to choose your favorite song, okay? And you go to the chorus of that favorite song, and you have to pick the initial letters of the first letters of every word, no? Say for example, di ko kayang tanggapin is the lyric. So you have to get the D, K, K, di ba? For the di ko kayang tanggapin, DKKT, and that is now how you select your password, because it's also easier to remember. And also you have to regularly change your password, no? It is not that your password will be your forever password. So you have to change regularly your password so that perpetrators could not use such. And do not use your birthdays, your phone numbers, because usually perpetrators use this, no? Use this your data to access, no? They try trial and error until they get in. So that's one thing. Second is never share your social media credentials, of course, not to anyone. Consider your passwords, no? Consider your passwords as your pin if you have your ATM cards. So do you want the pin of the pin of your ATM card to be shared, no, to others? Of course you won't know. So make it something similar to your social media account. So don't never share your credentials, your username and password. Okay? Add two-factor authentication for every social account. So this means that it adds, no, a secure layer, an extra layer of protection. So once you log in to your social media account, there is another additional layer wherein you get an SMS or you get a special code for you to log in successfully. And so I have collected here some of the ways in the top social media platforms, no? Say for example in Facebook, you go to your security and login settings, then you scroll down to use two-factor authentication and click edit. So um, you can use an SMS or a third-party authentication app, no? So this is a clever way, no, for you to protect your account. So say for example, um, if you enrolled into this, then matingala na lang mo nga there is a notification in your mobile phone saying that someone is trying to access, then congratulations, because you have enrolled your account into a two-factor authentication. So I really suggest that you do this, no, to secure your login. Then for Instagram, you see the mechanical logo, no, or button in Instagram. You click on that, no, sa inyo man ang profile makitaan, and then there is the two-factor authentication, and then you can require the security code. Okay. And for the Google account, they call it as the two-step verification, no? Not authentication. But if you want to, of course, YouTube is already owned by Google. And so if you want to watch YouTube safely, because you have to log in and comment, then perhaps you go to the Google account page wherein you can nominate, no? That is myaccount.google.com, wherein you can select your two-step verification, wherein you add an extra layer of security. Okay. For Twitter, there is also for Twitter. Actually, most no, or I think now all of the social media applications have this kind of two-factor authentication or verification, wherein it adds an extra layer of security for your account. Okay, and so I highly suggest it. Might kind of ano ba, how do you call this, tacky, or it's kind of a hassle, no, that you're already itching to log into your account, but that also means that there is an extra layer of security for your account. So I highly suggest you to do such. Set up security answers, no, and update your privacy settings. So update your privacy settings if you do not want, if you want to select only the audience that you want to share your social media content, your social media data, no, your pictures, then you can try to change your privacy settings. And also for your please take into consideration that your profile picture is public and even your cover photos. So choose pictures that are not revealing or ano ba, something that must not be shared, of course, to the public. Then be careful with what you share. Think before you click, no? Diba? Always be mindful of what you share can be shared to others, even if you only share this to your most trusted people. But who knows, that person is not a friend. He is a friend in disguise. So be careful with what you share in social media, most especially that contents now or data spread like wildfire. No, paspas lang kayo or dali lang kayo ang pagkalat sa mga contents, pag-share lang, dali ra kaayo. So always be careful and mindful of that. So before you post something, think twice or thrice, no, if this post is really postable or not. Okay. Keep system up to date with antivirus. This is also true, no? There are some hackers who could be able to penetrate in systems, in computers, because the vulnerability is high for computers because there is no anti-malware or antivirus software applications, or maybe there are, but it is not active, or perhaps it is only on a trial and it has already expired. So always make sure that your system is up to date. Verify friend requests and block fake accounts, no? Mga dagan kayo mga some other nationalities adding you, no? So make sure that these are not poser accounts, these are not fake accounts, no? And just verify if such friend is really your friend, perhaps through your mutual friends list, no? If they really are your friends. Regularly check your mailbox to check suspicious login attempts. Maybe wala ninyo na basin passive lang mo sa inyong email inboxes, no? But there are already notifications there. Okay, so always make sure that you check your mailboxes because but now no, we have, especially for those in Android and other platforms, wherein they say that there is a security check. Did you log into this PC? Diba? So you have to regularly check on that, your settings, that are they activated or not. Use an updated browser. Basin nag-Internet Explorer pa mo, no? Ano nag-evolve naman ang IE into Microsoft Edge. So make sure to always update your browser because chances are since perpetrators and attackers know how they can go into your um, in your system. So make sure that you have an updated browser. Since your browser is not anymore supported because that is an old one, then chances are hackers and attackers already know some way in your in your all right. Log off their accounts when done, especially na if mo adtong mag-internet cafes, pero I think dili pa man pud active ang internet cafes karon, no. But if ever or perhaps makilagin mo sa inyong friends, makilagin mo sa inyong anyone else, so make sure if you are done, log it off, no? Because chances are perhaps sa inyong friend nagkaaway mo, di ba? Yan, nakilagin ka sa iyang laptop or devices, nya pag-away ninyo, diya na mo revenge na siya. So always make sure to log off your accounts. Okay, I think there's no need for me to explain such. Don't click suspicious links. Kanino? I believe that kamo nga mga younger people, you already know how to determine fake links, no? Mga baits, no? Mga clickbaits. And so we have older people who are not aware of such. So I hope you also tell them or help them how to determine how to be, how not to click, no? Because these links sometimes have scripts, no, for them to be able to get in your system. So and copy your data or your profile. So please tell your mothers, grandparents who are connected to the internet how to determine which ones are fake or not. Keep the privacy settings of your social media profile at the most restricted levels. Know when things should be posted public and know when it should be for friends only or friends of friends. All right. Remember that information scattered over multiple posts, photographs, status comments, and others may together reveal enough about you to enable a fraudster to steal your identity and defraud you. So apply maximum caution while sharing anything online. Okay? What you post might make or break you or might be taken against you. A poster will copy all your posts, your pictures, and everything about you and create his or her account to imitate you. So be careful and use your, use your mind, use your brain when some things are postable or not. Okay? Now, if that is not enough, if the precautionary measures are not enough, and you think your data has been compromised or you have already been violated, we have Philippine laws, we have existing laws that have been enacted here in the country to support you or to help you get out of that sticky situation, okay? We actually have two major laws. We have the Data Privacy Act of 2012, or that is RA 10173, and RA 10175, or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Okay? I know it will take time if I define this laws, no? Although we are running out of time, but these are the concerns or issues that the Data Privacy Act supports, no? This is also the reason that the National Privacy Commission has been established. So NPC is an attached agency of DICT from where I work in right now. So if there is unauthorized processing, negligence in access, improper disposal of your data, no? Especially kana ganing for example, there is an activity or there is even webinars that organizers collect your data. So do you feel safe or unsafe if they collect your data? What is the purpose? So there must be actually a confidentiality notice, no, why they are collecting such information, because nahitabo na no, it so happened already that before there is this organization who collected information for a certain webinar, and it so happened nga after the webinar they have been sending out email notifications to join their business, to join their networking whatsoever that they have there, and that is not the original intent of why the information has been collected. So you can actually you can go to NPC which as of now doesn't have a satellite offices in other areas except for Manila, no? And you pwede ka magreklamo. Because the thing here in data privacy is that if some data has no consent of you, you can actually tell that, or you can that is a point for the commission to take notice of. Even if kana gani inyong pictures, no, nga gihimong meme, no? Example, perhaps if natulog ka or no nag-abri mong ba, and that is something that you did not give a consent for such sharer of such gihimuon kag meme, you can actually report that to the NPC for that to be taken down, and for the people, for especially those who really shared such, can be penalized by this. So even if ano no, say for example lang na, if ang Comelec, di ba, nagkuha sila og data sa imuha, of course, as a voter, and there is a leak, no, of the data that has been gathered, and so NPC will be the ones to give a jurisdiction on that, or they are the ones in charge for that. Okay, so that is for Data Privacy Act. And then lastly, we have the Cybercrime Prevention Act, wherein if there is an illegal access to devices, interception, interference, fraud, misuse of device, forgery, identity theft, cyber squatting, unsa man yung cyber squatting, kana ganing fake websites, no, nagamit og URL of a certain company or business, or say for example Food Panda, and then ang iyang URL is foodpanda.eat.com. Dayon gikopya ang interface sa Food Panda nga website, and so that is punishable by the Cybercrime Prevention Act, or RA 10175. So that can actually be reported. And also we have this online libel, no, ni uso na ni siya. If you have taken screenshots of libel that are very that have downgraded your image, no, or anything that negates your image, then that can actually be reported, and you have to go to PNP. Or this not it is not the ICT, no, who is in charge for that, but you can go to directly to the PNP, to the police station, and then it can ask help from the NBI to locate if unknown ang ni share, no, then perhaps ma-check ang IP address. So they are the ones in charge for that. But I hope and fingers crossed na you will not fall victims of this, because it's such a headache, no? Such a pain in the neck. Okay? And so that's it. I hope you have learned. And in case you want to know more, I have my YouTube channel, no? I just launched this recently. That's Tech Talks with Pambansang IT Guy. If in case you have some technical concerns, or perhaps some contents that can help you. And that's it. Thank you very much. So I give now back the stage to Pao. I hope you have learned. Pao, why are you laughing?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Thank you, Pao.
Thank
I'm
you
done.
very much, sir, for sharing your knowledge and insight regarding today's topic, social media data. So for the participants, I hope you've learned a lot from this talk. So moving on, we will now go to the question and answer portion. So for the question and answer portion, you may enter your questions in the chat box here in Zoom. Anyone?
Sana ano pa, no, wala rin mga mathematical nga questions, kay medyo hinay man ko ana. Wala rin mga mathematics nga questions.
Noted, sir.
Hindi exit yung screen share.
Okay. Sir, pwede ni mo i-exit imong screen share?
Alright.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So going back, if anyone has questions, you may enter it in the chat box here in Zoom. Okay, so we have one question by Mel June Cortez. Sir, so ang his question is unsaon pag dakop sa hacker.
Okay. Sa attacker. Now, actually, the National Bureau of Investigation, no, has tools for that. And even PNP Cybercrime Division has tools for that to attack attackers and hackers. And if you could actually remember, no, before in May 2000, we have this person called Onel de Guzman. No? He was the creator of the I Love You virus that has inflicted not only the Philippines but the entire world. And we're able to capture him. No, if you could remember the I Love You virus that has affected millions. So there is a way for that. But I leave it to PNP and NBI because they have tools and they have resources to do such. And one keyword for this is IP address.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the answer. So if anyone else has any questions, reminding you guys again, you may chat in the Zoom chat box. Um, okay, kay murag wala man ata, sir. So thank you, Sir Joshua, for answering the question earlier. So at this point, we will now go to the Tech Talk quiz. So all the questions of this quiz are from the things Sir Joshua shared earlier. So if you really listen, then you have the chance to win 100 pesos.
Pao, I think you are muted, Pao.
Oh, okay. So sorry for that. We were supposed to have a advertisement video, but so due to technical difficulties, we will move on to the Tech Talk mechanics. Okay, so first of all, we would like before I move on, I would like to we would like the CSSC would like to thank Food Panda for supporting or sponsoring this webinar. Okay, so moving on. Here's the mechanics for the Tech Talk quiz. There will be 5 questions in this quiz. Next is that the participants will type their entries and answers in the chat box. Third is that the participants will only start answering when the quizmaster says the word go, which the quizmaster is, of course, me, the MC. And lastly, the first 5 who will get the highest score will be the winners. So take note that any answers before I say go will not be credited. So, okay, guys, are you ready? Okay, so for the first question, in the Philippines, what is the digital growth indicator percentage of active social media users from January 2020 versus April 2019? I say again, in the Philippines, what is the digital growth indicator percentage of active social media users from January 2020 versus April 2019? Go.
Bisig gamay, Drew.
9.8, no. Messenger app, TikTok. A clue, guys, it is a number, not an application. %, 90%, not the correct answer. 100%. 23%. Another clue, guys, it is a decimal number, 1.4. 1.4 is close. 1.5. No. 1.8, no. 2.3. 1. 1. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I think nobody got the correct answer. So the correct answer is 8.6. So the correct answer is 8.6%. So in the question, in the Philippines, what is the digital growth indicator percentage of active social media users from January 2020 versus April 2019? The answer is 8.6%. Okay, so moving on to the next question. The next question is, give one Philippine law that was mentioned by the guest speaker earlier. I repeat, give one Philippine law that was mentioned by the guest speaker earlier. Go. Okay, so we have a winner, which is, let me see first, scroll. Kathy. There was one answer that answered before my go, so I discredited that. So Kathy got the correct answer. So the correct answer is either Data Privacy Act of 2012, RA 10173, or Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, RA 10175. Okay. So moving on. The next question is, what is the average speed of fixed internet connection in the Philippines? I repeat, what is the average speed of fixed internet connection in the Philippines? Go. Um, Let me see. 16, no. 19, close. 25 is close. Clue, it is a decimal answer. Okay, we have a winner. Let me scroll up first for the first five. Okay. Oh,
Isa lang.
oh no no. Okay, so let me scroll up who got the right answer. Let me see.
For winners, so manana na to, diba? Add na lang tag extra para malinis.
So the one who got the answer was Maria Teresa Aguila. Congratulations. The answer was 73 million. Okay, so moving on to the next question.
Upat pa diba winners? O, isa na lang last. Pang lima.
Okay, for the last question. For the last question is give two examples of social media threats mentioned by the speaker earlier. I repeat, give two ex give two examples of social media threats mentioned by the speaker earlier. Go. While waiting for the staff to tabulate the scores, I will be asking some of the participants some questions. So let me see. Um, May I call on Dixie Galasque. If sorry if I mispronounced her name. Hello, Dixie. Are you there? Miss or Mr. Dixie. Okay, I think Dixie is not here. I will call on another participant. So, Gazelle Among Us. Hello, Gazelle. Gazelle, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Question, ma'am. What have you like? Can you give me some insights or any ideas what you have learned during the talk? Sa guest speaker ganiya.
Okay, one of the insights that I've learned sa talk from our guest speaker kanina is to how to prevent those things nga kana ganing mo protect ang imo ang identity sa nga imo ang identity through guarding your social media by being cautious by what you post on social medias and other sites. That's all.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Miss Gazelle Among Us. Okay, so next participant, let me call Miss Christelle. Are you here? Christelle Ann. Hello, Miss Christelle Ann. Are you there? Okay, so I think either she's not here or she has no mic. So let me move on. So let's see. Miss Maria Luna, are you there? Maria Luna Gokotano. Okay, so wala manata. Let me call another one. Oh, unstable internet. Okay, it's okay, Miss Christelle. Okay, so moving next participant. Gani. Miss. Oh, hello, Von Philip.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sir Von.
Yes.
So, do you have anything to share with the others? What you have learned during this talk?
I learned, sir, natutunan ko po doon habang nanonood ako sa, earlier, I'm tuning in Facebook Live. So after the discussion, I transfer in the Zoom. I learned how to protect in cyberbullying and other threats in the internet. And also the advantages and disadvantages of the internet.
Okay, thank you, Sir Von. I hope
Thank you.
you may use what you have learned from this tech talk. So thank you. Okay, so I think the staff has not yet been done tabulating the scores, so I will be calling another participant. Miss Vanessa Amandoron. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Miss Vanessa.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Quick question. Any insight or ideas that you want to share to the participants?
About sir? About
the tech talk earlier. What have you learned? Any insight that you want to share?
I mas na akong knowledge sa katong mga threats nga makuha nimo, and then always jud ka nang think before you click. Kay na experience na pod ko na nga mag-share niya na kapit ko ma-report sa akong gi-share kay 18 plus akong di nga na-share ang niya akong mga kuan kay mga niece na ko, akong mga friends, so murag na-expose sila to, so think before you share it.
Okay. So thank you, Miss Vanessa. I hope dili na ka ma-experience okay na to. Okay. Okay, so I think I think the staff is done tabulating the scores. So for the winners, we these people will earn 100 pesos. These are the top 5 from the quiz earlier. So first is Meljun Cortez, congratulations. Next is Maria Teresa Aguila, congratulations. Next is Keith Yi, Miss Comstad 2020, congratulations. Okay, fourth is Cristel Ann Gabatan, congratulations. And lastly, we have Raul Lecaros. So for the top 5, congratulations for winning and answering our quiz. Okay, so congratulations again to the winners. I hope that you learned a lot and enjoyed the Tech Talk quiz. So before we end, we would like to present this token and certificate of appreciation to Mr. Joshua Eleazar Domen for being our guest speaker in Tech Talk, Online Literacy on Social Media Data. On this day, January 30, 2021, signed by Marjorie Susada, the CSSC President, and Ma'am Cynthia Anayron, the CSSC Moderator. A virtual round of applause, please. So, so this is the certificate. So, thank you again, Sir Joshua, for speaking.
Thank you, Pao, and to all the organizers, no, for having this successful Tech Talk episode 2. So congratulations to everyone. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Domen, for sharing us your knowledge and insights about social media data. Okay. So as we come to a close, so that's the end of Tech Talk episode 2. So thank you to the participants who attended the webinar. We hope that this webinar has given you the awareness and knowledge that you need nowadays to take care and protect your data online. Special thanks to the project head and organizers of this event. Without them, this Tech Talk would not be possible. I would like to inform everyone that after this event, we will be distributing the evaluation form for this webinar. And before we leave the meeting room, can we have a photo op or a photo first? So for everyone with cameras who can turn on their cameras, may you turn them on